Hope that's good, everyone. I was planning on going live in the garage, but got this right here. Little man's fire truck's back there. I don't know how that's supposed to go, but I'm just gonna go with it. Give a little bit of time for something to jump on. Went on just a hair early. It's hot. There was a wind. There was 30-mile-an-hour winds all day, but I go live and then need a little breeze, and it's not there. Slab Buster, there he is. What's going on? Thanks for being here, man. Hope you're getting some fish out that way. Lisa. Hey kid, it's been a while. Praying all is well. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. Yeah, everything's good. So I kind of explained what happened last week. Kind of had a last minute semi-emergency that I had to figure out how I was going to address. But everything's good now. Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate it. I haven't put any videos out in a while, but I'm gonna try my best to to get some videos out there for y'all. Definitely know I've been slacking on that. There's a gust of wind. Hopefully it doesn't knock y'all over. Slab Buster, yeah. In blowdowns, 12 to 13 foot of water bite is pretty good. It's steady. Nice, man. Glad to hear it's finally getting steady. It's finally steady out here too. That's a good depth for here that I've been finding too. It seems like 10. I mean, honestly, from like 7 foot all the way out to like 20 foot. We've had some success over the last few weeks. Just kind of depends on the lake and clarity of the water and stuff like that, but. But yeah, it's been pretty, I'm enjoying it, just because it is really windy now. I've been enjoying how the bite's been out here just because it's been so up and down and hit or miss this whole spring. Been super cool. It was cool, and then it got really hot, and then it cooled back off, and so those fish are just kind of, they really haven't been able to, they haven't been forced yet to the summer spots that I'm really looking. They're starting to show up, but it's definitely not like it will be coming up. And I know it's holiday today. I don't know how many are going to be on here. I know you got family plans, hanging out, maybe at the pool or something like that, but I didn't go live last week, so I wanted to go live at least for a little bit today and kind of touch base. I've been thankfully staying pretty busy. I cannot complain. Hey, Lisa, yeah, let me know. Let me know, Lisa. Slab, I've been chasing bluegill, shellcracker when I can't find the big ones. I break out the crappie rod. There you go, man. Yeah, I so far this year I've missed the shallow catfish bite so far, and I need to take some time and go and do that and put that on film for you guys. It doesn't get that many views, but I enjoy that, and my grandparents and my in-laws both really love catfish, and I do too. So I need to go ahead and do that before that bite disappears. I'm not too familiar with how long that bite holds on, but I've been hearing the bite's pretty good on the rocks right now, so definitely need to take some time and to do that. But it's just been so hard. I've been trying to. So I've had guide trips pretty much every week for the past, I'd say, I'm trying to think, the past 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. I've had trips every week, and I've got trips lined up well into the end of, well, I'd say mid-June right now. Every week I have trips, so just been trying to keep on the fish and going to different lakes, and it's a whole different ball game going to different lakes, and going to some lakes that, you know, just a lot won't guide for crappie on these lakes. And I really do enjoy a challenge, and luckily I've been pretty successful. Had one tough trip. This was probably like 2 or 3 weeks now. I don't remember exactly when it was, but one tough trip. I mean, just the wind was just so bad, and I just could not fish what I needed to fish to do good, and that was my mistake. So, but that's part of it, you know. You live and you learn. I'm really trying to maneuver my days to where they're not uncomfortable. That day was just not comfortable at all, and not productive, just because the wind was just so limiting, and I just could not do what I needed to do. Armando, there he is. Thanks for being here, man. Hope you're doing good. Raul, there he is. Hope all is well, Raul. Really appreciate everyone being here. But just that one tough trip. I had another trip where the wind's been really bad, Armando. And that's kind of what I've been touching on. That I had one bad trip so far, and it was just the windiest day. It was one of the windiest days that I can remember this year. It was really bad. It wasn't supposed to be that bad. It was supposed to be, you know, borderline, and I know where I fish I could get out of the wind, and my boat can handle it, but it was just way more than what they said it was going to be, and I just couldn't. My boat just could not stay on the spots, and getting blown around and getting sprayed going across little coves, and just was not worth it. Raul, man, the fish are post spawn. They are anywhere from 7 to 20 foot. I'd say right now my sweet zone is probably like 10 to 15 foot. Brush, rock, timber, bridges, everything's holding fish right now. And from what I can tell too is the fish, I'm already starting to transition over to minnows. I usually run minnows on trips anyway, just because it just there's more, how do I put it, there's more room for error with minnows. You know, minnows will correct some mistakes. You know, as far as not filling the bite, you know, they'll hold on to a minnow a little longer and give you that chance to fill that bite, and so I use that. But I'm gonna get ready, I don't think quite yet, but here in the next week or two, I'm gonna be transitioning myself over to minnows. Even when I go out and fish, I'm gonna have to stop and get minnows. So it's just that time of year. At least on the area, the lakes that I fish. You know, the handful of lakes that I fish regularly, those minnows are the deal. Slab, it's awesome you're staying busy. Yep, every lake has its own personality. Even here on the Coosa River, every lake is on a different pattern. Yep, that's how it is too, Slab, and it depends too. So some of these lakes that I fish have only white crappie. Some of these lakes have a good mixture of black and white, and you know, some are more black crappie predominant than others. And you know, I really feel like black crappie and white crappie behave totally different. I don't know how some feel about that, but just the two species act completely different. Black crappie will tend to gravitate more toward rock, docks, you know, that clear water, that main lake, and those white crappie like that muddier water. They like, you know, timber, vertical cover, stuff like that. And so depending on the lake and depending on the wind and what you're trying to target, it can really make a big difference. Mark Williams, there he is. Thanks for being here, man. I hope all is well down that way, buddy. Yep, Slab, that's right. So the water temp here, last time I was out, I had a trip on Friday, and the water I think was like 74 whenever I got off the water. It was around 70. It might have been a little higher than that. I think I checked it later in the day and it was like 74. But in the morning it was 71. That's still really cool for it almost being June. Once that water gets up over 80, 85 degrees, these fish are going to start stacking up, and minnows are going to be the name of the game. It's not quite there yet, but we will get there, I'm sure. I mean, it's been pretty warm the last couple of days. Armando, minnows are definitely a must right now. Targeting same depths, but this past weekend found them stacked 5 to 8 foot of water. Yep, man, and it's funny, you know. I had a trip on Louisville on Friday, and one of my clients, he caught the biggest fish of the trip, and it was in 7 foot of water on rock. I was blown away. I mean, and the water where we were at was pretty clear. I mean, I'd say it probably had at least a foot visibility, and so I was so surprised that and it was big fish. That big of a fish was up that shallow. And what that is like I said, the water's not hot enough. They don't have to leave, so they're just kind of moseying around, and a lot of the bigger fish that I'm cleaning, especially big white crappie, some of those females are still retaining their eggs. And those fish are not going to spawn at this point. So I was kind of, when I'm cleaning the fish for clients, I'm like, yep, these fish have eggs, and they're not going to spawn those eggs at this point. We're too far into, I mean, I haven't personally caught a spawning fish in probably 2 or 3 weeks, but I know there's still probably a couple spawning around somewhere, maybe on the dam somewhere, but I think majority of the spawn's done. Like, I think 95% of it's done. And so those fish if you're cleaning fish and they got eggs, they're just not going to drop them. That's just what it is. Slab, dang, it was 82, 84 here, man, Saturday. Yeah, so I haven't been on the water in 2 days, and it's been pretty hot the last couple of days, so. Wait, what is today? No, today's Monday. So 3 days since I've been on the water. And I know it's gotten a lot. I know the water temps went up. Ernesto, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. Yeah, man, Armando's on those fish at Hubbard. He really is. I was really wanting to be honest, I was really wanting to run some trips over there at Hubbard this year, but just don't know if I'm going to get around to it just with the drive and traffic, and I just don't know. I might go over there and fun fish myself, but slab buster, those get stressed easy when they're in hot water, just like we do when it's hot. They ain't gonna work too hard for bait. That's why minnows work good. Yep. Yeah, they get real lethargic. I mean, there's times when I see the water 93, 94 degrees up here, or sometimes higher in shallower water. It's pretty crazy how hot the water gets. Tina Ladybug, thanks for being here. Oh yeah, Slab, I know what you mean. Armando, let's fun fish together. Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm booked out like I think 3 weeks, so after that, if I have some time, we definitely have to make it happen, man. Hopefully the wind dies down. That would really help schedules line up a lot better. Get the wind to just not blow 30 every day. But so I mean, I've been running around on those, and Texas Outdoors. Thanks for being here, man. By the way, Texas Outdoors. Hubbard is slowing down quite a bit. Caught some really big ones Friday, but numbers are down by 75% of the last 2 weeks. So are you following? Are you fishing the same areas, Texas Outdoors? Because if that's happening, that's telling me those fish are moving somewhere. I would think that 10 to 15 depth range is pretty good. Like, I mean, at least from what I've seen, everywhere I've been, all the lakes I've been lately, it seems like that 10 to 15 foot range is pretty good right now. Daniel M, thanks for being here, posting good content. Keep it up. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all always are so great about sharing and all that. I really appreciate that. It helps get me out there a little bit more, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Mark Spurgeon, getting ready for my cancer surgery tonight. Keep up the good work. Maybe we can get out there together when we get out of here. Oh man, Mark, yeah, I did not know that, buddy. man, I know everything's gonna go good, and you're gonna get through this no problem, man. I know. Just you just gotta have the faith, and it'll all work out, buddy. Definitely thinking about you, man. Slab Buster. Won't be much longer here. I'm gonna run some night trips. Plus boat traffic is crazy on Neely right now. Yeah, man, that's another thing. So that's one thing. So I mean, I don't want to harp too much on guiding or anything like that, but so if anyone's interested in a trip, definitely let me know. Websites, just I've posted that on my Kid Crappie page, Facebook, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I'm jumping between a few lakes right now, not really staying on one more than others, so definitely reach out. And so on these trips, and all the information's on that website, everything's on there you need to know. But as far as the trips go, so if you do book a trip, I want to say, definitely it's really helpful if you're flexible as far as like days of the week, so if you need a Saturday and I need to move you because of the weather, it really helps me out. It helps both of us out, honestly, because if I'm looking at this weather all week for these trips, and so if I see the weather's not going to be very conducive for success, or just for being not miserable out there, I'll let you know and say, hey, I think the wind's looking bad. Do you mind moving the trip? We can, and what I do on that is the first available day, that same day, that's where I put you at. And so it really helps me out. I don't want to. As mentioned earlier, I had one tough trip, and that was because honestly I made a bad decision. I should not have. I've been out myself, and I should not have took clients out that day. It was just too windy for me to do what I needed to do, and too windy to be comfortable. And so I'm not doing that again. So if I feel like we're going to be up against the wall and we're going to be dealing with wind and waves and tough fishing, just can't run around and do what I need to do, then I'm definitely going to let you know about that. And just know when I do that, I'm thinking about both of us. I don't want to be out there with my back against the wall trying to make stuff happen when I know that I don't have my full arsenal. I can't run around. We're just kind of having to hunker down and hide. And then vice versa, I know you're not going to have an enjoyable experience. Sometimes you may take a day off just for this. I don't want your day off to be out there fighting 30-mile-an-hour winds and catching a couple fish just because we can't hold on the structure. We can't run around in different spots. So that's definitely. So if I definitely reach out, take that in mind. That I'm looking out for both of us. I don't want to get out. I want you to get out there and catch the most amount of fish you possibly can. And if the wind's blowing 30, we can't do that. I mean, we just can't, as much as I want to. Daniel M, do you do any trips on Ray Roberts? I do. So I haven't ran any yet, but I know that lake pretty well, and I can definitely run something out there if you're interested. There's a fly come through here really quick. So I'm just kind of trying to look out for both of us, and it's tough because it's always like the border. I hate having to reschedule. I really do, because I know how it is. Like if I was booking a trip and looking to catch a bunch of fish, and I was I'm excited, I'm ready to go. Like if I have something this week, I'm ready to go, let's go. And then a few days before, like, oh, we're gonna have to move it around, it's too windy. I get the disappointment in that, I really do. But trust me, it is not fun out there in 30-mile-an-hour winds trying to hold over a spot. It's just, you're just up against the wall. You really are, and I don't want that for you guys. Slab, feels like you're on the ocean right now. Starts about 10, 11 here. So much boat traffic. Yeah, that's right, Slab, that's right. So, and coupled with that, the wind being the reason that I'm moving trips around, or I may move trips around. The reason for that too is some of these lakes that I fish, they're big party lakes, and so especially on a weekend trip or something like that, if it's blowing 30 miles an hour, that means everyone is going to be hunkered down in these little bitty areas. that are protected from the wind, you know, along with us. And so we're going to have twice the amount of boat wakes to deal with. Just, you know, there's a lot more that goes into it, and so I definitely want, you know, that to be out there too. Taro Plank, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it, Taro. Hope all is well. And so some of the I mean, the boat traffic is crazy right now. I mean, I know this is kind of like the kickoff weekend as far as that goes, and it's just really, it's that time. So I'm trying to, you know, I obviously much prefer weekday trips just because we don't have to deal with the crowds. But I understand most work during the week. But if you can definitely find a way to get off during the week, it's much more enjoyable. I mean, it just is. We don't have boat wakes, you know, no craziness at the boat ramp, just everything's just a lot smoother. No one else out there fishing with us on the, you know, not as many people out there fishing with us on the lake, and so there's less competition for the fish, and you know, it definitely just snowballs. Raul, you're a great fisherman. I learned too much from you. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Raul. Yeah, Raul. So I'm definitely gonna try to go live more. So what happened last week is my son, he broke my work computer like literally like 10 minutes before. Before I was getting ready to go live, and so I was just, you know, not in the right place to go live. I was trying to figure out. I was pretty upset because I knew I was gonna have to like probably go in, you know, early in the morning and get that taken care of, and I ended up having to do that. But just trying to figure out like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? All that type of thing, because I had to work the next day too, and so I was just scrambling trying to figure that out. So apologies for that. I hate having to do that, but that just was something totally out of the blue that happened that I had to take care of. But everything's good now, so I'm gonna try and keep it every other. Monday, just because week to week, not much really changes. I feel like more changes in 2 week periods, if that makes sense. So I get there right at daylight and leave around 11 a.m. But I know you can't do that guiding though. Yeah, I would love to. It's kind of a how do I put it? Catch-22, I guess. It's like I love to get out there early and get off the water, but at the same time, at least from where I fish, a lot of the bite gets better as the day goes on. So usually, like right before we're getting ready to leave, it's right before we're getting ready to leave, or you know, right at the end of the trip, or later in the day, the bite just gets better, and that's when the traffic is also the worst. And so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like it's tough. And that's how it was on the trip on Louisville on Friday. Just as the day went on, the bite just the morning was pretty slow. I was struggling in the morning, and then finally got on a little flurry in the middle of the day. The sun up high, putting the fish where I want them, and we made it happen. So, James, thanks for being here, man. I hope all is good. Good seeing you on here, buddy. Andy Chase, how was fishing this weekend? I tried to avoid the lake this weekend because it was a holiday. I knew it'd be busy. Yeah, Andy, so I'm the same, man. I have not been on the water I've been working all weekend. So, but I had a trip Saturday, but combined with the wind and it being a holiday Saturday, I knew we were going to be in trouble, so I ended up moving that trip around. But I have not been on the lake all weekend. I've been at home working. And it's been really, really windy all weekend, so I could imagine how rough it's been out there. Oof. Come home with your back hurting. Xavier, North Texas Fisherman, thanks for being here, man. What's up? Hope all is well over there. Hope you're staying on those fish. But, yeah, I mean, that's really it. White bass are biting. We had, I think, 9 or 10 keeper white bass, sand bass on the trip on Friday. Not even trying, just fishing for crappie and catching them, you know, by accident. And so they're biting really good. I didn't see any schooling activity, which I was pretty surprised, honestly, with it being calm as it was. That was odd. I thought for sure we'd come across some surface activity, but we just did not. Oh man, Xavier. I can't remember, did something happen to the boat again, or I can't remember, buddy. Raul, I need a new fishing rod. Any suggestions? Raul, man, I love B&M. And I'm not just saying that because I work with them. I really do love their rods. Sam Super Sensitive, 7 foot, 9 foot. What else? The Russ Bailey Signature Series, 8 foot, it's a great rod too. I use those pretty readily on trips and just fishing in general. Oh, okay, man. I thought I saw something. I can't remember what it was, Xavier, but I thought I saw something about. Oh, it was the tire. That's what it was. Well, I'm glad you got that taken care of, man. Yeah, this wind's gonna die eventually, I hope. Nice, man. Yeah, hopefully you do. Get on a south bank somewhere and you definitely probably find a fish or two. I think the wind's supposed to be out of the south tomorrow. I haven't looked. I think it is. But yeah, it's that summertime deal, you guys. It's just not much is going to change. We're basically summer already, and it's just going to keep going the same. Brush, minnows, main lake. Oh, okay, Wednesday. Yeah, the wind's gonna be up tomorrow too. I thought I'd seen that it was gonna be up. I thought I remember seeing that. Raul Mendez, B&M 6 feet. Man, so I love so me personally, Raul, I like 7, like 9 foot. I really don't. Those are usually the rod lengths that I kind of gravitate toward. I'm not too big on those super long rods or super short rods. Now, for dock shooting, I mean, honestly, about 7 foot is about the smallest rod that I dock shoot with, and use in general, really. I think I have a couple 5.5, 6 footers rigged up for sand bass in the boat at all times, just in case. Fishing with James, yeah, that wind's been horrible. It's been keeping us off the water the last few days. Fish have been biting good, though. Yep. Yeah, the fish are biting. It's just you got to be able to get out there and not get in trouble or be able to hold on spots to fish. Xavier, man, this weather put a stun on the fish for a while. That long spring with the sudden summer sucked. Seemed like the fish finally moving to a summer pattern. Yeah, so that's one thing, Xavier. That's good thing you mentioned that, man. So I noticed that, like, when it got really hot, I was really thinking these fish were gonna really pull out really quick and get on the pro-spawn stuff, and I was surprised. It did not happen that quick. I think the fish knew that weather wasn't right. I think they knew that it was May, and that's not normal for that water to be that warm and to be that hot, and they just did not pull out their summer spots yet. And I think now they're starting to get to typically by about June usually is when I really start seeing the fish really pull out, really start stacking, and so that's definitely, I think, going on, and it will continue to go on as it gets hotter and stays hot. I know a couple of days in the last week or two was pretty cool, so it'll get there. And then once this wind dies down a little bit too, I feel like this wind kind of keeps that water cool. If this wind dies for 3 or 4 days in a row and that sun just beats down on that water, I feel like it'll warm it up a little bit too. But yeah, you guys, so as always, if you're looking for a way to support the channel, super chats are there, Cash App is there as well. I like to touch on it. I don't like to be too pushy with it, but it's there if you guys are inclined, and it's always appreciated. So, and then check out my website if you're interested in a trip. That's a lot of good information on there as well. There's some information on there about the channel and stuff, and kind of my background as well. So. Timothy G, thanks for being here. Went scoping this weekend. All bigger fish, shallower, but a few kind of deeper. Yep, that's right, man. So Timothy's dead on. So on Friday's trip, that's one thing I noticed, and I kind of got tuned in on later in the day. That's why we kind of got a flurry later in the day. So those deeper fish, there's fish deeper, don't get me wrong, but those fish, like Timothy said, are finicky and they do not want to bite. And it's real easy to just kind of sit there and try and beg them fish to bite, but you just got to pull the plug and just go look somewhere else. And as soon as we got shallower water, we started to find not only better fish, but fish that wanted to bite. Andy Chase, I think Lake Lavon lost a huge school of sandies when they opened the gates a couple weeks ago. It's been tough fishing. Man, Andy, so I've heard that a lot. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I don't know that fish get pulled through the spillways like that. At least in any numbers that is going to hurt. I mean, at least for me, I really don't think that's the case. There's a... trying to think of like how to, I mean, if you think about it like this, someone had mentioned this to me. So if you think about it like this, Andy, so if Lake Lavon lost a lot of sandies or a big portion of their sandies, that means that Ray Hubbard, which is directly downstream, would have like sandies everywhere. And from what I'm hearing, it's tough all over. So I think it's more of just like the time of year. You know, the fish are trying to orient themselves, and you know, the shad spawn just ended, so a lot of these fish have a lot of food, or have had a lot of food, and we're about to get ready to start seeing a lot of shad fry. So they're getting ready to have just endless food opportunities, and so I think a lot of times they're just not hungry. I really do. And that's what I'm finding with crappie. Some crappie you just can't get the bite. They just don't want to bite. Fishing with James, we're catching them 10 to 15 foot standing timber the other day. A few on brush piles, but not a ton yet. Nice, man. Yeah, that's the zone right there. Xavier, I couldn't agree more, man. James, I've been great, bro. Itching to get back out. East Texas Dumper, thanks for being here, man. It's getting good. It's getting good. I hope it's good. I know it's good out your way. I don't even have to ask. Yeah, usually, so Xavier brings a good point. So a lot of the times that the gates are open, the fishing gets tough, and that's because that opens up current that these fish are not used to coming to the lake. So these lakes are, you know, they're obviously man-made, and the dam controls the flow. So if the dam's closed, the gates are closed for like a month or two, there's very, very minimal current in the lake. The main current that's generated, you know, when the gates are closed is wind current. And that's not nowhere near the same as current from the spillway opening. And so that a lot of times repositions the fish differently than they would be if the gates were closed. And their feeding habits are different. You know, and the shad react, it just changes the dynamic of the lake. Me too, sitting out until the wind stops or at least gets below 15. Yeah, man, I hear you, man. Thanks for being here, by the way. Yeah, it was funny. So I had an electronics trip. This was last weekend now, I think. Last Saturday. Excuse me. And on that trip, my client, his old Trex completely went out like an hour into the trip, and I think he had caught a couple. I got his graphs dialed in pretty good. We're gonna do a makeup trip on that, but so it was funny. It was blowing like 15 that day, and I even told him, I was like, man, it's blowing like 15, but it's not that bad. Like, you know, it's all perspective, you know, you get kind of used to it blowing 30, and so when it blows 15, you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. It's just funny how that is. Yeah, man, Xavier, you are not lying. Gas is high. I had to go up on my prices this year, and I really didn't want to, but I didn't have a choice. Yeah, that's I'm staying close to home, not only because of that, just because I really don't have to go too far right now, so that's really kind of working out as far as that. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think I put 120 in the boat and the truck the other day, and I think if I remember right, I had 3/4 of it. I had a quarter tank in the truck, and I had a little under, I think, half a tank in the boat. And so basically like a tank and a quarter total, and it was $120. It was a lot. East Texas dumper, you already know. Yeah, seen you were out there a couple months ago. Yeah, I was, man. I love it out that way. I wish I can get out there more. You're definitely lucky to be in a good, like, some of the best fishing in Texas. Over here in Metroplex, it's a little tougher. Slapbuster current means everything on the Coosa for all species, but it's a river, yep. And you got to think too. So a lot of the lakes here they're actually built on rivers, and so I'm sure these fish were somewhat used to current, living in that river. But when they're dammed up and the current stops, it's just they just act different. Andy Chase Friday, the wind should be good. I'm seeing 5 to 10. Awesome. I hope it's like that this weekend too. Albert Highsaw, how's it going, kid? I'm doing good, Albert. Thanks for being here, man. I hope all is well on your end too. Cutting back on my 4 trips now. Use ethanol free and it's running me $5.19 a gallon. Yeah, man. As soon as I get a chance to put some ethanol free gas in my boat, I'm gonna do it. I just have not been able to do it yet. Got to go to Buc-ee's, I think, to do that. So I'm gonna have to do that next time I'm around to Buc-ee's. But Slapbuster, I'm breaking out my 14-foot aluminum with a 25 horsepower. Been getting it ready the last couple weeks. I can go a long way on 6 gallons of gas. Truck, well, it is what it is. Yeah, man, that's one thing. So I run a 2-stroke now. I used to have a 4-stroke. That 4-stroke just sipped gas. So far on this 2-stroke, I'm pretty impressed with it. It does not, it doesn't guzzle gas by any means. It definitely uses gas, but I definitely wouldn't call it a gas guzzler, which I'm thankful for. Because even with that, it's still putting 120 in the boat and the truck. Well, yeah, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start kind of wrapping it up. I really don't have anything else to talk about. Kind of run over, kind of mostly what I wanted to talk about. Touch base with everyone, checked in, seeing how everyone was doing. Timothy G, wind's been really high lately. Hard to fish as the day goes on. And the fish get more finicky as the day goes on. Only some days, though. Yeah, man, that's true. It's almost time to break out those minnows. Break out those minnows. Texas Outdoors, the 7-Eleven at the Highway 66 ramp on Hubbard has ethanol free if you are close to there. I think it's called Rec 90 gas. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. If I'm over that way, I'll definitely go over there and get some. Man, my 2-stroke gulps gas. Been trying to drive 40, trying to conserve. Man, that's the thing. Mine won't do 40. That's probably why it doesn't sip gas. I think mine does like 30. I think just with me in the boat, it does 30. Sounds good, Raul. Slab, yeah, those Yamis get pretty good mileage. Yeah, they seem to do. This is my first Yamaha, and so I'm liking it so far. Crappie Express, what's up, man? East Texas, oh yeah, I got to get out to that lake a little more. I'd be turning down fishing with people because it's so good around here, but I'd love to come that way and try it out sometimes. Yeah, man, it's totally different ball game over here, but yeah, man, if you're ever over here, over this way, give me a shout. We'll see what I got going on. My phone's about to die. Minnows, question mark. If I can't catch them on jigs, they are not biting. Yeah, man, you're not the only one that thinks that way, and that's cool, but it definitely, you're missing out. You're missing out. Don't let that deter you, man. I'm just telling you, you're missing out on limits of fish by not fishing with minnows. It's just the truth. So I already enjoyed it as always. Stay safe out there. Tara, later, Anthony. Take care, and thanks for the fish talk. Thanks, Tara, for being here. A1, what's up, man? Buc-ee's hat. Yeah, that's why I haven't made it over there to that Buc-ee's yet. I probably need to go to Buc-ee's. That way I can get some food while I'm over there, too. I think that's a lot better than 7-Eleven food. Timothy, minnows make a big difference sometimes. Sometimes they won't even bite a 1-inch jig, or they'll just nip it. Yep, live scope changes a lot of things. Yep, that's true. Yep, that's all we use is minnows, A1. Yeah, I'm not, I think a lot of it, not for everyone, but a lot of it's kind of a pride thing. It's like like I had to use live bait, to catch fish, but I don't have any problem catching them on artificials. But at the same time, like running trips, I have to. I'm getting paid to put fish in the boat, so I gotta put some minnows on. So, and I'm into catching fish. If I gotta go and put pieces of hot dog on there to catch a fish, I'll go do it. So that's just me. Yeah, I have to try and hit you up sometime. Shoot me your info, email. We'll go from there, bro. Yeah, man, for sure. Sounds good, man. I'm appreciative, man. All right, you guys. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for dropping in. I know it was, a busy holiday weekend for a lot. I really appreciate you taking some time being here. I know I haven't been on as much. I apologize for that, but I'm gonna try and make it more consistent. Assuming nothing crazy happens, and talk fishing with you guys and gals. Me too. Just got tired of pouring minnows into the lake. Man, you're doing something wrong, man, if you're pouring minnows into the lake. Get you a little bubbler and put it on there. You can take them home and they'll live for a long time. Put some ice in there and cool that water down. You'll make a few trips that way. But yeah, you guys, so thanks again, everyone. Y'all take it easy, and we'll catch you in the next one. Y'all have a great evening. Stay safe.